Lots of people come to me and they say, Nick, I've got a business idea. What should I do about it? What do I do next? Don't worry, I say, I've got the process for you. And what I'm going to do in this video is share exactly what that process is. So the first thing is I open up a Google Doc and I get the person to say everything they've thought about in relation to their idea, whether that be what's their vision, what's their purpose for it, what excites them about the idea, and why are they doing it, what's the reason for it. I also get them to talk about what are the competitors, what are similar ideas, what's being done already in the market, and I get them to think about, who's the customer and what they're going to do with it. So I get them to write down everything in relation to the idea and put that in the Google Doc. So that's number one. Then number two, what I like to do is use the old business model canvas by Strategizer. It's a fantastic tool and it enables you to really understand what it is you're trying to do even before you start. Equally, having said that, it's also very good for analysing existing businesses too. But in this context, I like to start with the customer and say, well, who is the customer? Who are we trying to help? So we map it out, use some sticky notes, get that out. Then what I like to do is say, well, what's the value proposition? Well, what's the product first of all, and what's the value proposition? What are the benefits that your customer's going to get from using that product that you're trying to create? Then what I say, okay, well, what are the channels? How are we going to interact with our customer? Is it through, are you going to create a website? You're going to have a newsletter? Is it through social media? What are you going to do? And then I say, okay, well, what's the customer relationship? Is it a transactional one or is it an emotional one? Is it that they're coming back again and again, or is it one-off? And how are we building up that relationship as well? All things that we need to think about, and I get them thinking about that straight away. Then I like to talk about the revenue streams. So what type of revenue stream are you thinking that you want to make happen with your business? So is it a transactional thing? They come in, they pay for it, that's it? Or is it a subscription model where they're paying regularly every month? Maybe it's free. It's good to write that down and have that clear from the beginning. Then what you do is you go, what are my key resources? So you look at your key resources and say, well, what's the thing that's special that I have currently, and what are the things that I'm going to need in the future to be able to deliver this business model? The key activities, so that's what you're doing. What should you be doing? What are you currently doing as well? Write that down, get that in there too. And then what I do is I say, well, who are the partners? Who's going to help you get this done? And then finally, what are the costs in association with making all this happen? And you write that down and you say, what are all the costs, what are all the fees that you're going to have to accrue to be able to deliver this business? Then I say, okay, well, let's zone in on number three, which is who's your customer? What is it they're trying to achieve? And where are they now? And what is the thing they need to do in between to get them from one to the other? And then how's your business or how's your product going to help them do that? That's what we think about with the value proposition canvas, another one from Strategizer. Then what I like to do is move on to the fourth point. So the fourth point is really key because you've got all these sticky notes everywhere. You need to order them. You need to map your assumptions because a lot of this is guesswork. We haven't got a clue. And if anyone says, oh yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen here, they don't. Because even if you've made a successful business, doesn't mean this new idea that you've got is going to work. What you need to do is try it out, test it, and then learn from it. So first of all, what I like to do is map out what are the biggest assumptions and smallest ones. So I use those sticky notes from the business model canvas and map them out, and from the value proposition canvas as well. Map them out. What are the biggest assumptions that I'm making at the top, and then the least biggest assumptions I'm making at the bottom. And then I say, well, what are the biggest risks as well? And then I move them from left to right. So on the left we have the smallest risk, and on the right we have the biggest risks. And then when we do that, we've got a good idea of the things we need to focus on for the business. Then number five, I said, well, let's have a look at that. What are the experiments that we can run to actually test this out? So we have a look at the experiments, and then after that, once we've identified how can we experiment here, then I say, well, let's create a step-by-step plan of what's going to happen now for the next 2 weeks. And that's pretty much my process. So first of all, get everything out of your head into a Google Doc, everything you know about the idea, write it down, then start fleshing out a business model canvas based off of a lot of what you've already done, and maybe some of the missing pieces you'll also be aware of that you've got missing. And then you go onto the value proposition canvas as well, zone in on the customer, zone in on the product that you're creating. Then map your assumptions out. What are the biggest assumptions, the smallest assumptions, the biggest risks and the smallest risks. Then what you want to do is create an idea of what's the experiments that we need to run to test those assumptions. And then you'll end with, well, what's our plan now? How are we actually going to do this? What's the next kind of week or two look like to be able to make this possible? So that's the process that I go through to help people when they've got a business idea. Let me know what you think. I hope it helps. If you're watching this on YouTube, why not subscribe? If you're watching this on LinkedIn or Instagram or anywhere else, why not give it a like or share it with anyone else that you think might find it useful? And if you've got any questions about the process, just leave a comment or send me a direct message and I'll be happy to help you. So that's it for now. See you later.